For Alan Powers, known to his friends as Brain, high school did not prove to be much of a challenge. He had been widely regarded as the top student during his tenure at Lakewood Elementary School, winning the science fair almost every single year. Brain's scientific prowess came as a surprise to his parents, who thought he was a dumbass. His father, Lester Powers, barely finished 2 years of community college. He had worked as a maintenance man until he pulled together his savings and a small inheritance. Oh, yeah. Brain's dad was a dumbass, wasn't he? I think. Was he? I think. I haven't watched this show in a long time. He had worked as a maintenance man until he pulled together his savings and a small inheritance to open an ice cream parlor. His mother, Stephanie Powers, did not attend college and was a homemaker until the ice cream parlor was opened. Brain knew he was smarter than the other kids. Even with his intelligence, Brain carried himself... Sorry. Brain knew he was smarter than the other kids. Even with his intelligence, Brain carried himself humbly enough to make friends easily. In particular, he was close friends with two classmates named Arthur and Buster. Outside of school, Brain... I keep wanting to say Brian. Brain worked at his parents' ice cream parlor. One of his real passions was electronics. Nearly every dollar he earned from working went towards the construction of a robot to compete on the show BattleBots. The bad economy hit the ice parlor business hard. Brain still worked at the ice cream parlor, but to help his parents out, he agreed to work for free. He still wanted to compete on BattleBots, so he had to devise a new way to get money. At first, he tried doing yard work for neighbors, but found the competition stiff. After Raymond Molina had moved to Elwood City with his wife and two young children, Alberto and Visita, he told his family back home what a nice area it was. Pretty soon, word had gotten around, and Hispanics worldwide began heading to Elwood City, with Hispanic immigrants dominating the yard work business. Brain decided to try tutoring. The bad economy had its impact there too, as Brain found himself competing with older, more experienced people, including laid-off teachers. He was at his wit's end when Binky mentioned he had a way for Brain to earn money. Oh man, I need to come up with $1,000 to finish my BattleBot, Brain stated. I burned out an actuator and the saw blade motor controller in testing. By the time I get the money, the parts I need will probably be out of stock on DigiKey. That's too bad, Brain. I wish I could help you, but my pet business isn't doing too well either. My mom's working long hours at her new, spelt K-N-E-W instead of N-E-W, her new job, and we're just getting by. her new job, stated his friend Arthur. I can't help but overhearing, interjected Binky. I can't help but overhearing. Why can nobody on this site? I can't help it. I don't think that's right. I may have a way for you to earn some money. Save it, Binky. I don't want to get into any trouble, Brain replied. You didn't even hear what I had to say. I'm not going to make you do anything you don't want to, but I think we could help each other. If you change your mind, you know where to find me, Binky stated. Brain shrugged off Binky's offer at first. Brain had known Binky since their spelled T-H-E-R-E, their days at Lakewood Elementary. Back then, Binky was regarded as somewhat of a bully, but maintained somewhat of a softer side through playing his clarinet and doing ballet. The softer side gradually eroded over the years due to his association with the tough customers. The tough customers began as a group of friends at Lakewood Elementary comprising Binky, Rattles, Seacone, however you pronounce that, Molly McDonald, Slink Dillard, and a few other associates. In the early days, the tough customers simply bullied other students for their own amusement. As the years progressed, they progressed to acts as serious as vandalism, armed robbery, theft, and even racketeering. Well, shit. Binky grew up into a little badass, I see. Binky himself had been in juvenile. You'd think with all the immigration coming in, he'd have some stiff competition too, but I guess not. Guess they're keeping honest, sticking to the lawn care work. Well, good for them. Binky himself had been in juvenile detention of five separate occasions. Once the leader of the tough customers, Binky had given way to the leadership of the calculating Rattles and became the gang's brutish enforcer. Maybe I could at least go see what Binky had in mind, Brain thought to himself. I can always walk away if it's something illegal. Yeah, I can. I mean, I don't see why it would be something illegal. I mean, they're only involved in racketeering, theft, robbery, vandalism. I'm sure it'll work out. With that, Brain walked down to the backside of the gymnasium where the tough customers were known to hang out. Brain, glad you came over, Binky exclaimed. Is this the guy? Rattles asked Binky. Yeah, Binky replied. Word is you're quite the chemistry whiz, Rattles stated, looking at Binky. I know my way around the lab, Brain replied. Do you know what this is? Rattles asked. Rattles asked Oh, I thought that said pulled. Rattles asked, pulling out a small baggie out of his jacket pocket. Rock candy? Brain asked. Rock candy? Are you serious? You've never heard of ice? Molly asked. Ice? Brain replied, still dumbfounded. You know, crank, glass, not Nazi dope. I've never heard that. Gack, jib, fizz, whiz, rum dump, crystal meth, Rattle stated with a laugh. Oh, crystal meth I know, Brain said. Basically, the dude we had cooking for us got busted and shipped to military school. Rattle stated. We need someone to take over. Do you think you could make meth? I've never done it myself, but from what I understand, the most common production method is a reduction of ephedrine and pseudoephedrine from over-the-counter cough medicine, a cocky Brain declared. So are you going to work with us? Rattles asked. I don't want to end up in juvie, replied Brain. Relax, we got a place where you wouldn't be disturbed at all. Don't you need money? To build a robot? With us, you could earn $500 per load, Rattles stated. Brain was surprised at the amount of money he could earn. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can earn like 200-something a load, shooting actual loads. I feel like that'd be quicker. Brain was surprised at the amount of money he could earn. He knew there was a lot of risk in cooking meth, but he really wanted to finish his battle in time for the competition. 40-something years in prison. Well, juvie, I guess. I wonder how much a fucking teenager in high school would get for selling meth. I guess it's worth it to finish his fucking robots. Maybe he'd do a few runs and then stop. Okay, I'm in. Just a few loads, then I'm out. It's too much risk for me to cook much after that, Brain stated. Great. Glad to have you on board. Just let Binky know what you need, and we'll get started whenever you're ready, Rattles replied. Okay, Binky, I got the list, Brain stated as Binky walked into class. Quiet. Don't talk about anything here. Meet me after school behind the gymnasium, Binky replied. Brain couldn't believe how stupid he was. Of course you shouldn't talk with a known delinquent about drug manufacturing during school hours. You don't fucking say. He was lucky no one saw him. You mean heard. I don't think it... I guess he doesn't want to be seen around him either. Doesn't want to be caught associating with known high school racketeers. What the fuck is... There's a racketeering in a fucking high school. I don't think that's a thing. When school was finally over, Brain went over behind the gym as Binky had instructed him. Binky was there waiting for him. You may be smart, Brain, but you have a lot to learn about crime, Binky declared. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll be more careful from now on, Brain replied. Brain gave his shopping list to Binky. Sheesh, do you really need all this stuff? What the hell is a Erlenmeyer flask? Binky asked. Look, Binky, I don't know how you've been doing things, but this is what I need to make a quality product. It's bad enough that I'm doing this, but I'm not going to put out something that's going to get someone killed, Brain answered back. Fine, Brain. Your product better be the bomb, then, Binky replied. I feel like I know these are fucking, like, teenagers. I don't even know what the fuck, like, running a full-on criminal operation anyway. But I'm pretty sure like criminals running an established operation that aren't used to cooking like actual quality shit and are like cutting their product probably with fentanyl and shit. I don't think they're. I feel like they would put up more of a fight to somebody coming in and changing the quality of their product right away like this. I don't think they'd be okay with it right off the bat. 1 week later, Brain was alone in the school bathroom when Binky entered. Uh-oh. Don't want to be left in the school bathroom with Binky. I'd turn around and walk out, Brain. I got all your stuff, Binky stated. I was trying to think of somewhere else to take that joke. I couldn't. It's late. I got all your stuff, Binky stated. Meet me behind the gymnasium after school on Friday. When Friday came, Brain met Binky as requested. Binky led him to a remote location. What is the place? Brain asked. It's called Arsubia, Binky replied. Huh? Brain responded. Me, Arthur, and Sue Ellen found this place back when we were at Lakewood. Almost no one knows how to get here, which makes it the perfect place to cook, said Binky. Well, we should get started, said Brain. I see you've got the distilled water I wanted. Where are the safety goggles and gloves? Over here, replied Binky. Take a set for yourself, said Brain. I don't need those, replied Binky. Look, Binky, this is my lab. You do what I say, demanded Brain. Fine, replied Binky. Why is he just going along with like whatever Brain is saying? Is it just he's just very assertive? It's his confidence is just letting him get whatever he wants here. Again, I feel like if these are like hardened, I mean, high schoolers, but like hardened criminals running a fucking like mob operation, I feel like they'd be a little more inclined to like, not go along with what he wanted. But whatever. With all their safety equipment, Brain and Binky, Jesus fucking. Brain and Binky proceeded to manufacture and package their load over the course of a few hours. Done, said Brain. We'll have your money once our dealers sell the merchandise. Should be a few days if the product is good, said Binky. Exactly 2 days after finishing the production, Binky came up to Brain. He told Brain to... 2 days after finishing the production. The production would be the making it? They already made it, though. I'm not sure why I used... Like, when he said production, finishing the production, I read it as, like, finishing the product, like Binky did all the fucking meth by himself. he's just having him cook it for himself. He's smoking all that shit. The word there I think he was looking for was distribution. Or finishing the sale of the product. He told Brain to meet him at the park in an hour. When Brain got to the park, he saw Binky and Rattles waiting for him next to a picnic table. Your trial run worked out pretty well, Rattles said. Your ice is the bomb. I did the best I could considering the circumstances. There's so much crap in that cough medicine that there's no way I could extract all of it out of there, replied Brain. Rattles reached into a brown paper bag and handed Brain a huge wad of cash. I only wish there was some way we could increase production, Rattles stated. On the street, they're calling your meth diamond because it's so flawless. A VIP got taste of your stuff and wanted to distribute wholesale. If only we could get enough cough medicine. The wad of cash in Brain's jacket pocket had an immediate effect. He had to have more. Brain. What the fuck? Okay, it's written like it's a fucking script here, like Brain. And then it's his name, Brain, and then the quotation marks, like it's a fucking script or something, just randomly. Like I don't see that anywhere else in here other than here. Rattles, there are other ways to make meth besides cough medicine. I bet there are some ingredients out there that are easier to get in bulk. Let me do some research and I'll get back to you. When Brain got back home, he immediately delved into his chemistry textbooks. After hours of racking his brain, he was far from a solution. Then it occurred to him. Elwood City was home to a fertilizer plant. If he could get his hands on some phenylacetone and methylamine, a reductive amination of the methylamine in the presence of a suitable catalyst should do the trick. Brain pulled out his cell phone and called Binky. Hey, Binky, I have a way to take our venture to the next level. With a couple of barrels of chemicals from the fertilizer factory, we can make enough product to last a month, Brain stated. Let Rattles know I want to meet tomorrow. Okay, I'll set it up, replied Binky. The next day, Brain met with Binky and Rattles. So, you know how to make the product in bulk, replied Rattles. Yeah, I do. Only thing is want 50%. Missed out an I there, of whatever you get from the wholesaler, Brain answered. 50% is high, but the guy is going to pay $250 per pound, so I guess I can hand... What? Okay, you can have half of the product? These guys are such fucking pussies. They just bend over every time this newbie, this fucking nerd, who they'd probably in real life would probably bully around and probably pay jack shit. They're just like, yeah, whatever. You can have 50% of the fucking sale of our product. And we'll just split the rest between the rest of the operation. What the fuck? You know, between like the other, because it's like a gang of like a few kids. And okay, he's just walking in and all of a sudden he's calling shots. Only thing is, we don't have the resources to get the chemicals. The guy does, and he wants to meet you before we get set up, Rattles explained. As long as it's in a private setting, I'll meet him, Brain replied. Why the fuck does the wholesaler want to meet the fucking cook? That seems like a huge liability. If Brain gets arrested, he can rat them all out, and they're all going to fucking juvie. That's not very smart. I'll have Binky leave a note in your locker with a time and place, Rattles declared. A few days later, Brain did find a note in his locker. It said, go to the Chicken Lickin' on Friday at 12 p.m. Order a 5-piece meal with extra spicy Cajun seasoning. The Chicken Lickin'. Oh, okay. Oh. That advanced kind of quickly. This is only chapter 1. Is he already going to meet the Gus Fring of this story? I don't know if that's gonna if the Gus Fring of this story is gonna be like another Arthur character or just like some random OC. Brain went to the Chicken Licken as instructed. He ordered his meal and sat down. He was expecting something to happen, but nothing did. Growing impatient, he almost finished his meal when someone approached him. Would you like to see how a Chicken Licken works? The man asked. Okay, Brain replied. What? Would you like to see how a Chicken Licken works? I don't think that's how that works in restaurants. I've never had a manager walk up to me. That totally doesn't look suspicious at all. It definitely does not. Why is the manager? I don't know who this guy is as far as the restaurant rank. I assume he'd at least be a manager. Why the fuck is a manager walking up to a high school kid? Like why is a manager working with high school kids in the first place, running a meth operation and buying his product from high schoolers? And 2, why this is not like, if they're trying to be like discreet, it's not discreet to walk up to a customer and without exchanging any other words, just be like, hey, you want to see the back of the fucking kitchen, random fucking high schooler that just walked in here and hasn't finished their meal yet? You want to come see the kitchen? I don't think that's how that works. Okay, Brain replied. Yeah, that's not suspicious. Yeah, that makes sense, I suppose. The man led Brain into the kitchen of the restaurant. They walked to the walk-in freezer. On one end of the there was another door. This is your stop, the man said, pointing to the door. This is as far as you go, as he pulls out a fucking gun. That's what you get for getting mixed up in this shit, kid. That's what you get for demanding 50% of our profits, motherfucker. Brain opened the door and walked in. Inside was the Beauregard Pollet, owner of Chicken Licken. Good afternoon, Alan, Pollet said with his distinct southern accent. Oh, I'm not even gonna try and do a southern accent. Maybe next time. How did you know my name? Brain asked. Well, I make it a point to learn about anyone I invest money in, and I plan to invest a lot of money in you, Alan, Paulet replied. Alan, I got lost my place. Alan looked at Paulet to the outside world. This man operated the most successful fried chicken restaurant outside of KFC, yet he was all a drug kingpin. It made sense to, yeah, it made sense to Brain. He's not even surprised, not shocked at all. It's just like, well, yeah, the restaurant business and the drug business are both ruthless. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I guess those two are linked. Makes sense. The local successful fried chicken restaurant, man, the colonel of KFC is a drug lord. Shit. Well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, selling that fried chicken and cooking that meth, wasting your competition comes in both. It's just a matter of whether or not you dump in your competition in a hole in the desert or in a pot of stew. If you can get the chemicals, I can make the meth, Brain replied. Your partner Rattles' price of $500 per pound is steep, but the quality is so good I jumped at the deal, Paulet stated. Then it occurred to Brain that Paulet had said he was paying Rattles $500 per pound when Rattles told him he was only getting $250. Rattles was trying to cheat him. What did he even need Rattles for? Binky helped him with the production. Rattles had provided materials for the first load, but now Paulet would be doing that. The quality is so good that Rattles also has a deal in Crown City, Brain added. A slight smirk came across Brain's face. He knew Rattles had no deal in Crown City. Yet even the possibility of him having one sealed his fate. Interesting, I was not aware Rattles had a deal in Crown City, Paulet replied. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you, Alan. I hope to get started soon. This guy just fucking got Rattles killed because he tried to cheat him a little bit, because he was understandably resistant to paying 50% of his profits to some newbie that just showed up and suddenly wants to start. He's a fucking high school. He just got one of his fucking schoolmates killed. Like there's gonna be a fucking target on his head now because this guy was upset that he couldn't walk into the operation and immediately demand 50%. He went from just wanting, he wanted $1,000 for his little robot project at the beginning of the chapter, and after selling a few batches of meth, he's now arranged for his former distributor to be shot in the head. What the fuck? That is a very fast escalation. That's like chapter 1. The next day at school, Brain noticed the tough customers congregating in their usual spot. Rattles was absent. Brain walked over. Rattles is missing, said Binky. With an ice-cold stare on his face, Brain looked the tough customer straight in the eyes and said, I'm in charge now. He wanted $1,000. This dude sold a few batches of meth, and now he's taken over the local high school fucking mob ring. He's fucking getting